Hi everyone, welcome back to Kayla Academy. So today we're going to talk about quadratic equations. So quadratic equations is one of the most basic topics in math. In real life, in all the topics in math, you will be needing the knowledge of quadratic equations. So it's a stepping stone for most of the application problem and so on. Okay, let's look at the normal analysis that we have every chapter. Okay, so normally there will be in paper 1, it's either here in paper 1 or 2 questions and not in paper 2, there will be around 3 to 6 marks, or there will be something like this, paper 1, 1 or 2 questions, and also paper 2, 1 question. So there will be about 9 to 14 marks. That looks very different, right? Okay, but it's fine, right? Okay, so this one will be one of the most, the easiest topics in the whole SPM math. But you just have to master the skill. Okay, you have to learn this no matter what. Okay, at least one of the 3 techniques. Okay, so why I say so? You must learn because chapters that require the knowledge 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, I can lost count already. Okay, so all these chapters need this topic, so you know how important this is, right? Okay, so let's move on. So this chapter for SPM, you have been having this formula in your exam. So the formula that is included is this formula. Okay, so I zoom it out right here. So this will be the only formula in this whole exam that will be providing you. Okay, so the exam will only provide you this formula. Okay, this is the formula for finding the roots of a quadratic equation. Okay, let's move on. So 2.1 quadratic equations and their roots. So in this section, we are going to talk about 3 different types of method that we can find quadratic equations, the roots of a quadratic equation. Okay, so don't worry if this one you don't understand in this class, because we are going to go through all of this like very thoroughly later on. Okay, so just look at this one. What's happening? Just basic knowledge and just get a feeling of this. Okay, quadratic equation. What's a quadratic equation? Very simple. It's something that has x squared, something that has x, and something that has a constant equals to 0. Equal, there's an equal because it's quadratic equation. Okay, then the restriction is that a cannot be 0. A cannot be 0 because if a is 0, this part is gone. So you only have bx plus c, okay, equal to 0. So that's not quadratic anymore. And for example, this x squared minus 3x plus 2, your a is 1, b is negative 3, c is 2, so a is not equal to 0. Okay, fine. Okay, quadratic equation. And it's x squared, x power 1, and x to the power 0, which is your constant term. Okay, so this one is a quadratic equation. Next, what is a root? A root of a quadratic equation is a number that satisfies the quadratic equation. So what does it mean by satisfy? Meaning you have that number, you plug it in here to x, then you get this left hand side equals to 0, or left hand side equals to right hand side. Okay, example here. I say that x equal to negative 2 is a root to this quadratic equation. Then I go and verify whether I'm correct or not. So we substitute x equal to negative 2 into left hand side, so it means this one. Then I'll get negative 2 squared minus 3 times negative 2, then plus 2. Okay, then after that I calculate, I get 0, which is equal to the right hand side. So left hand side equals to the right hand side. So meaning that this is a root because it satisfies the quadratic equation. Left is equals to right. Okay, then we are done. Next, let's look at this. This one, this one, this one, and this one. Can you try yourself and see whether you get it correct or not? Are these quadratic equations? Okay, so I'll start doing it. Okay, first one. The answer is yes, because you just look at the first term and whether it's x squared, x to the power 1, and constant. So yes, a is equal to 1, not equal to 0. Then second one, yes also. But where's your b? Where's your b? For this case, b is equal to 0. but it doesn't matter as long as it's something like 3x squared, and x to the power 1 is with constant or coefficient 0, and constant term is -1, then it's fine, totally fine. Next, we look at this one. What we have to do, we have to multiply them out and see it in this form, okay, this pattern. So you can tell A is 1, B is 5, C is 2. And it is, yes, because A is equal 1, not equal 0. And you have 2, 1, and constant. How about this one? The answer is no. Why? Quadratic equation only have x squared, x, and constant. What is this? No, this is actually x to the power -1. If you don't know this one, it's fine. So it's divided by x. So it's not quadratic equation. Okay? So be careful about this one. Just basic things. Okay. Roots of an equation. Okay? So is 5 a root of this one? So how do we know it is a root? The answer, it tells you it is a root. But how do you do it? You have to substitute x equal 5 into here. Then 5 minus 3 and 5, what do you get? 5 times 2 is equal to 10. So left hand side equal to right hand side means it satisfies the equation. Okay? Yes, it is a root. Okay? And let me ask you this. Is this a quadratic equation? Yes. Why? Because this is x squared minus 3x then equals to 10. I move the 10 over, then I get minus 10. So it gives me x squared minus 3x, then minus 10 is equals to 0. So you get power 2, power 1, and constant term. And power 2 term, the coefficient a is not equals to 0. Okay, next. Show that k is the root of this thing. Can you try this yourself? Okay, pause the video and try this. Just treat k as a number, okay? Just treat k as a number and show that it is a root. Okay, it's my time to show you now. Okay, if I want to show that this one is a root, so what do? I substitute x equals to k into here. Then left hand side, I'll get what? 3k squared minus 5 times k, which is k squared, then plus 2k squared. So 3 minus 5 is minus 2, then plus 2, then I get 0k squared. 0k squared, which is equals to 0. Okay, not okay, it's 0, and it's equal to RHS, right hand side. So I've just shown that left hand side is equal to right hand side when I substitute x equals to k into the equation. So it is a root. Yes, so k is a root. Okay, no problem. Okay, happy with this? Okay, you understand? Okay, don't get confused by this k. Exams likes to give you a lot of variables to make you confused, but it's very simple. Just treat this as a number and just plug it in, okay, and do the work. Okay, next. Oops. The following is just a preview. Don't be scared. So it's okay to not understand fully for these lessons, but we will go through this one in very detail afterwards. Okay, just show you what's happening here. Okay, methods to find roots of quadratic equations. How many did I tell you just now? 3 methods, right? So we have these 3 methods. First one is formula. Okay, so you just basically plug in what's your A, B, C, because A x squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Okay, then this one, what do? You just put in the A, B, C into this formula, and this one is the only formula provided in SPM exam. Then you get the answer. The answer for the roots. What is this? Plus minus means you have you have 2 answers. One is b plus this thing divided by this thing. Second answer is this thing minus this thing divided by 2a. Okay, so later we will see. This is the easiest, and you must know this method. You must know how to do it, and you must know how to calculate this one from your calculator. Okay, next, factorization. For example, this one. I factorize this. then I get x minus 3 and x minus 2. If you don't know how I factorize now, it's fine. So, but at least you know, multiply these two together, you get this one. Correct? Okay. Then after that, we can solve it by just telling that if this one equals 0, means this one equals 0, or this one equals 0. So your answer for the root will be x equals 3 and x equals 2. Okay? Fine. Last one, completing a square. I'm not going to talk so much here. Okay, I'm just going to tell that it's quite important in sketching graph, especially in chapter 3. You'll use this one to sketch the graph of quadratic equation. Okay, second one is very important because you use the techniques of factorization throughout the whole SPM course. Okay, so this completing a square, so I have to make it into something square and plus a constant. Okay, something complete square, then a constant. Okay, we see this one by one now. Okay, but don't worry, we are not conducting a real class on this one. We are just going to do a preview on each of the case. Okay, just for your information, the formula is given here. Okay, so you have this one. First method is formula. Then we have A equals to 1, right? Okay, 1. B equals to -3. C is equals to 2. That's why I substitute everything here into here, and I get this one, right? Okay, I get this one. And I calculate, then I get this one. So what does it mean by plus minus? I said just now, it means that you have this one. First answer, this one, is 3 plus 1 divided by 2, which is 2. Second answer is 3 minus 1 is 2 divided by 2, you get 1. Okay, very simple. This one, I guess you learned it now already. Okay, it's very simple. Second, methods, factorization. Okay, x squared minus 3x plus 2, this was the question. Okay, then I want to factorize this. So I do this, x minus 2, x minus 1 is equal to 0. Later on, I'll tell you how to factorize it. But some question you can't use this method because the factorization won't be a nice number, right? Okay, so maybe the answer, eventual answer, will be a decimal places, have a lot of decimal places and so on. It's not a nice number. Okay, so a number. Okay, so you have two numbers, let's say A and B. They multiply together and get 0. What do you think is A and B? They must be, one of them must be 0, right? Okay, one of them must be 0, or else you multiply together, it won't get you 0. That's why from here, two things multiply, you get 0. Means either this one is 0 or this one is 0. If this one is 0, what does it mean? X will be 2. If this one is 0, means x is equal to 1. So this one or this one. Or is the important point, okay? Not and. Okay? So not together. Okay? Could be together, but or means either this one, or both happens together. So you have to write or, not and. Okay? They don't happen together in order to make this be 0. Either one of these happens, then you make it to be 0. Okay? Right, next one. Completing the square. This is the hardest thing. Okay? Maybe for you now, it's the hardest thing, but I'm just going to do a preview, so it's fine. Okay? This one, what you do now is I put a bracket here, I separate the constant out, then I take this middle term divided by 2 and I square it. Middle term is -3, I divide by 2, then I square it. Okay? Here I simply add one term, then here I have to minus one term so that this line and this line will be the same, correct? Okay? So, see this? These two will be cancelled off. That's why this line will be the same as the previous line. Okay? No problem with this? Then next one. You got this one here. Okay, so what's happening? I don't know what's happening. Okay, so I'll just tell you here. I'm not sure whether you remember this one or you have ever learned this one. I guess you have done. A plus B, the whole thing, square is equals to what? A square plus 2AB, then plus B square. Okay, then A square, A minus B square is equals to A square minus 2AB plus B square. Okay, so what I'm doing here is that here you have something in this form. Okay, this thing is this thing. Okay, then you want to combine and merge it back to make it to be this one, something like on top. So you go from second line to the first line for these steps. Okay, don't worry, it's fine. You just look at this one. If you cannot get from this line to this line, at least you get this line to this line. Okay, let's verify this. X minus 3 over 2 square means a minus b square, correct? Okay, means a square, x square, okay, minus 2 times x times 3 over 2. So you get minus 3x, then plus the behind square, plus the behind square, means plus the behind negative 3 over 2 square. Then you get this one. Okay, at least from here to here you are fine, right? Okay, then this process from here to here is called completing the square. Okay, this is the hardest in this one. Okay, but I think that you will be fine if I teach you. Okay, let's do it. Okay, I'll just tell you this one. You try in this way. Then how do you solve it? Solve it means, you see, square is equal to 1 over 4. Means the one without square is equal to positive negative 1 over 2. Then you want to find x. So you move it over and the answer will give you 2 or equals to 1. Okay, move it over. You have plus minus means one answer is okay, I write here. One is x equals to 3 over 2 plus 1 over 2. Second one, or it will be x equals to 3 over 2 minus 1 over 2. So first answer will give you 2. Second answer will give you 1. Okay, don't be afraid. Life is a mystery. Okay, so I'll see you next class.